working media side of the press box. These are the folks that write for newspapers, TV stations, radio stations, that kind of thing. They're here to cover it. The folks over here work for us. He's the official scorer. He's got an important position because he decides whether something is a hit or an error, how it's scored. You know, there's all kinds of statistics in baseball, and he's in charge of that. Got to know a lot about that, you know, how the rules are and how it works to be able to do that. These other folks are reporters and different groups like that are here with us. So, some games we have it more crowded than others. There's a lot of folks in here, but the day games are a little bit different. But anyway, we'll go back here. I'll show you some other areas. This gentleman here is the visiting radio. These are our two refinements. He's with Norfolk. Our announcers are in the next booth. Over on the right, that last door is game ops. They're the folks that control what you see out there right now, like what you see on the video board. They control that. So we'll walk back this way and show you some of these areas. As you walk by here, this is there's two parts to television. You've got pictures and sound. This is the room that controls the sound. This side, starting here on, this is mostly what controls all the pictures. There's a sound booth over here to my right now. So these are the folks that control the audio portion of the broadcast. This is where the video happens. This is one of our. So when we do a broadcast, we've got as many as 9 cameras. This is our wireless camera now. He can rove around anywhere without being tethered to anything. The other cameras are, we've got one in each dugout, one in center field, one at high home, one out in left field. We've got a couple of robotics mounted up in the rafters, and then we've got one more wired roaming camera. We don't use it very often, but we have it if we need it. So we also roll our own commercials out of here that comes off this server. This is our graphics generator. It produces the lower thirds that you see with the people's names. It gives you the score box to tell you the situation in the game. And one thing I didn't mention is we broadcast about 50 of these games a year, and all of the production is done by folks your age. It's all 14 to 20-year-olds that are mostly in high school. Some of them are now in college. It's called an Explorer Troop. It's an extension of scouting, and it's boys and girls, and they learn a profession. In this case, they're learning live sports production. That doesn't mean they're all going to go to work and do that, but it's a good experience for them. And we've had several that are actually working in the TV business now. Some of them, we've got one that's working for an equipment manufacturer, designing graphics. We've got people working for ESPN. So it's been a good program that you know. One of the nice things about it is you just learn to work with other people. So any of you folks are interested in it, you can start applying really early next year, like January, February. They do interviews and bring folks in, and you get to work with folks from different high schools. So it's a lot of fun. So we'll go on back to this room. We'll get back and show you a little bit about the game ops side. But this is over here is called video control. These are the folks that make the cameras look the way cameras are supposed to look on the air. We have some control over it. Like for instance, if I want this camera to look a little darker, I can turn the iris down on it. Same as an aperture on a still camera. Come on in, guys. We got room. These are the robotic cameras I was telling you about. We use those a little during the game, not a lot. But this will be better if this one's on this side. It'd be better if he was a right-handed batter. But you can see we can zoom in there and get a shot of him. Or the other camera, we can say, okay, now he's at first base. Let's go look over there. I think they threw him out, so I don't think he's really on first base. But anyway, this is the whole video side of it and robotic control. Now behind you over here we have replay. You see the instant replays on TV. This device will take 4 cameras. They can select here any camera that they like that we have. They're recording them continually, so we shouldn't miss anything. And then we can play them back on the air. They'll call for a replay. They say, well, I've got a good view of that from camera 4 or whatever. So we'll play it back on the air. It works out really well. This is one of our older replay devices. We still kind of use it as an overflow to what we had before, to the new device. Now, if you go back over here, we'll look out through the window. You'll see the game ops side. That's where I was telling you, this is basically the stadium show, I like to call it. This is what you experience if you're at the stadium. See the big video board out there? They're generating all of the pictures you see for that, including the graphics of the players. Like a few minutes ago, you saw the wireless camera. They were doing an on-field promotion. We do all of that. This, the gentleman facing you here, he's running a server that plays videos. Those are the videos you see on the board. This is audio here. Gentleman over here to the right is our public address announcer. He makes all the announcements. Over to your left, and if you want to scoot over and look back this way, they're controlling. They've got a similar thing here, a video switcher. So they're deciding which video source goes on the video board. And over to your far left, you can't really see it, is another one of the replay boxes. They've got their own replay there, so we don't have to worry about sharing it with each of us. So they show the replays on that board. Now you're not going to see many replays today anywhere because we don't have a full crew here. We don't really have any crew here. I'm it. So we got one static camera that we're keeping punched up, and the robotics, but not really very good for a broadcast. I guess if you really wanted to watch it, you could tell what the situation was at home. You know, like I said, we stream the games. So, but normally, like the next homestand we have on a weekend, that'll be broadcast on channel 50.2, which is also on Time Warner. But starting I think early June, every game we have from then on for the rest of the year, every home game is broadcast. It's hard to get a crew in here when you know, they don't. For some reason, I don't think the parents want their kids out till midnight on a school night. Even though we generally have a crew in here, they're volunteers. They don't have to do it. They come in and work the games. But it's not. Sometimes it's a light crew. You know, we don't have quite enough for every position, so we don't broadcast those games. So, any questions? Let us know if you're interested in it, guys. You know, sign up next year, and if you want to do some of this, it's a lot of fun. You get to work with folks from different high schools, and we'll learn a lot.
Thank you.
You're welcome. You guys enjoyed the game today.